Our top story, viewers. The fight over loudspeakers is getting noisier by the day. MNS Chief Raj Thackeray has applauded UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for removing loudspeakers from religious places. He's called the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray a bhogi for not doing what Yogi did in UP.
Infamous loudspeaker is losing its voice in Uttar Pradesh. Statewide drive to remove unauthorized loudspeakers has seen removal of thousands of the loudspeakers. In other cases, the government has imposed strict sound limit.
लगभग 35,000 ऐसे लाउड स्पीकर की ध्वनि कम की गई है और 11,000 करीब लाउड स्पीकर उतारे गए हैं.
The crackdown in Uttar Pradesh has won Yogi Adityanath a fan in Raj Thackeray. The MNS leader tweeted that his state unfortunately does not have yogis but only bhogis. A veiled jibe at his estranged cousin and Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. Raj Thackeray has set 3rd of May as the deadline for removing loudspeakers from the mosques, failing which he has threatened to play the Hanuman Chalisa 5 times a day across the state.
तुम्हाला जो काही नमाज पढायचा आहे, तुम्हाला जी काय अजान द्यायची आहे, घरामध्ये द्या. आणि जर सांगून जर समजा तुम्हाला समजत नसेल की हे भोंगे खाली उतरवा, तुम्ही आम्हाला विनाकारण त्रास देऊ नका, हे जर नीट सांगून समजत नसेल तर तुमच्या मशिदीच्या बाहेर आम्ही हनुमान चालीसा लावणार म्हणजे लावणार.
Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar has lashed out at Raj Thackeray. He says no one will be allowed to instigate communal tensions in the state.
अच्छी बात है, जो राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री निर्णय ले रहे हैं वो लाउडस्पीकर निकालें. सबको साथ में लेकर, सबका विश्वास जीतकर अगर लाउडस्पीकर निकल रहे हैं बिल्कुल निकालें. इससे तो सबसे अच्छी चीज़ ये होगी कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास जो एक पॉलिटिकल मुद्दा है वो भी खत्म हो जाएगा.
The chorus against loudspeaker has angered former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah, who says the drive is targeted at the Muslim community, a charge rejected by the BJP.
सियासत के लिए एक गलत माहौल बनाया जा रहा है और ये सिर्फ हिजाब की बात नहीं है. हमें कहा जा रहा है कि मस्जिदों में लाउड स्पीकर नहीं इस्तेमाल होने चाहिए. क्यों नहीं? अगर बाकी जगहों पे लाउड स्पीकर होते हैं तो मस्जिदों में क्यों नहीं?
ये मानसिकता है किसी न किसी बात को लेकर इस प्रकार के बयान देना. पहले गुरु गोरक्ष पीठ में वहां के लाउड स्पीकर धीमे करवाए और वहां के लाउड स्पीकर को भी सबसे पहले प्रभावित किया गया. ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन अमंग द क्लास नहीं है.
Is the movement against loudspeakers discriminatory or necessary? Whatever the reason, the campaign in the middle of Ramzan has only added to the communal flames. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know what, viewers, it's important to give context on where the entire loudspeaker debate originated. Why were loudspeakers being taken off in the state of Uttar Pradesh? Because Uttar Pradesh now maintains very clearly, the government there, that loudspeakers are being taken off or being muted, not just in mosques, but at temples as well. But it all started with a big cry that for azan, why should loudspeakers be there and why should members of the Hindu community listen to the azan which emanates from a mosque very loudly at that. Through there, the opposition has called out the BJP, saying that the BJP in Uttar Pradesh is indulging in communal discrimination. And now, of course, the entire issue has found echo all the way in Maharashtra. You must have seen what went down over the course of the last 1 week on Hanuman Chalisa versus azan in all the loudspeaker debate. Cutting across to our political panel this evening, I'm joined by Shehzad Poonawala from the Bharatiya Janata Party. I have Krishna Hegde, Shiv Sena leader, Supriya Shrinate, Congress spokesperson, Runalini Deshmukh, senior advocate. I'd like to connect to the Shiv Sena leader, Krishna Hegde, first. And Mr. Hegde, my first question to you would be, you had this all-party meeting on the 25th of this month. What was decided therein by you that you put the ball in the centre's court, that the centre now should come up and devise a guideline on what should be a gold standard, I would say, of what would be the usage of a loudspeaker. Why that, sir? Either oppose it like the Congress, your own ally in your government, they are saying it's communal. Oppose it, or on the other hand, go ahead and take out all the loudspeakers. Is it because you're caught in a hard place and a rock? Because somewhere down the line, your own ethos of Hindutva, your own ethos, which the BJP said of what your core was, is being challenged?
First of all, let me tell you that we don't want any lessons from the BJP on Hindutva. The Shiv Sena is a hardcore Hindu party, and we believe that in Hindutva, in fact, it is we who taught the BJP Hindutva, so we don't want lessons from BJP or anyone else. Secondly, regarding the loudspeaker issue, let me tell you that already in Mumbai and in the state, 72% of the loudspeakers have already decreased the volume. Now, let me also inform you that the Honorable Supreme Court directive on loudspeakers, the order was in 2005. And today is 2022. And we had Mr. Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister, ruling the country for the last 8 years. Until then, the loudspeaker issue has never come up. Even in Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Yogi is taking action now. Why did he not take action 3 months ago when the elections were on? I would also like to tell you that the real issues have been hidden from the people. When they wanted to win the elections earlier, in 2014, it was the jumlas which they threw across to the country. Today, you see the COVID is on the rise again. The fuel prices have risen again. Petrol has reached 121 rupees. Diesel has reached 105 rupees. Gas has reached 900 rupees.
Okay.
Inflation is on a high. GDP is on a low. They were going to give 2 crore jobs every year to the youngsters in India, and they should have given 16 crore jobs in the last 8 years. And what has happened? People are losing their jobs. Now, to hide away from the real issues, the BJP is, with his loudspeaker allies or friends or whatever you may call it, is trying to divert the real issue. The real issue is more serious. There is a war going on near to our country, which is affecting us. And no one is talking about real issues.
As I bring in Shehzad Poonawalla into this conversation, Mr. Hegde, I'll ask you, you're saying these are divisionary tactics by the Bharatiya Janata Party. But the question I'd like to ask you, Mr. Hegde, is what is the Shiv Sena or what is the Sena stand on loudspeakers being banned in the state of Uttar Pradesh? Do you agree in principle that they should have been banned? The BJP is doing the right thing?
Plus, let us have the data. We are just hearing whatever is happening. There is no data as yet. Secondly, as I told you, in Maharashtra, 72% of the loudspeakers have already reduced the volume. Okay, and why is the centre not issuing the uniform directive across the country? Has the same thing happened in Madhya Pradesh? No, Madhya Pradesh loudspeakers are on. Has the same thing happened in Gujarat? The loudspeakers are on. In all BJP ruled states, the loudspeakers are on. Only here we are hearing some data coming out of Uttar Pradesh. The centre, which is should bring out a uniform law and see that whatever law is there is equal to the country. And people have not said that they are not going to follow the law. People have already said that they are going to follow the law. But these are diversionary tactics. This is to run away from the real issues and to again fool the people.
Okay.
What is important is the livelihood of the people.
The allegation is that the BJP wants to keep the communal pot simmering. You've been in power, if I'm not wrong, 8 years now. 8 years is a while. There have been guidelines for the loudspeakers ever since, and I'm sure Ms. Mrinalini would be able to tell us more. But, there have been guidelines. What is the sudden urgency to now implement this ban, especially in a state of Uttar Pradesh?
Preeti, first of all, I have heard Mr. Hegde patiently. I did not interrupt him, and there are 2 panelists on the opposing side and 1 on this side, so I hope you'll be kind enough with me also. Now, let me open my statement by saying, from 2005, the Supreme Court ordered to the noise pollution control and regulation rules to various judgments, Uttarakhand High Court, Punjab and Haryana High Court, right up to Karnataka High Court, the recent one of November 2021. These things have been reiterated over and over again. It is not a question of lack of law or regulation. It is about lack of implementation, and every every state has to implement it. For example, not just Uttar Pradesh, but in Uttar Pradesh there is a shining example that Uttar Pradesh Yogi model, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas. Ram Janki Mandir also took down their loudspeakers which were illegal. Sunni Masjid also took it down. Whether it is Karnataka, and Karnataka also the order was issued by the DGP which said very clearly that all religious establishments, not just religious establishments, even commercial establishments should make sure that they conform to the sound decibel levels, and it was opposed by the Congress saying that this was a communal order. I don't understand how it is communal if it applies to Ram Janki Mandir and to Sunni Masjid. But having said that, let me come to the point that the Shiv Sena spokesperson made. Shiv Sena spokesperson said that 72% of establishments or institutions have already reduced their volume. We know of two examples where Hanuman Chalisa was acted upon. One is Navneet Rana and another is the MNS worker. Within 24 hours, the Maharashtra government took strict action against those people who wanted to play the loudspeaker on Hanuman Chalisa. Fair enough. Now, the honorable spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, he should give me, without prevarication or obfuscation, I'm asking for specific details because your show is watched by millions of people. I want 5, just 5. He told me 72%. I just want 5 names of masjids where similar action was taken on the illegal loudspeaker. He just said 72% have already reduced their volume. And I'll tell you why I'm asking this about masjids, because 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. there is absolutely no use of loudspeaker allowed. You know that that's the Supreme Court guideline. But the first azan comes off at 5 a.m. when it's the morning prayer, which is at 5 a.m. at time of sunrise. So clearly some masjids are violating it, and no less than the Shiv Sena has mentioned about it in 2010 in their Samna editorial, and on our Swargiya Balasaheb Thackeray ji has also mentioned about it. So clearly there are some masjids that are violating it. Now just like they took strict action on Hanuman Chalisa.
Okay, Shahzad Poonawalla, we are coming off. Shahzad Poonawalla, 1 second. No, I'd like to, you continue. It's a rejoinder question, and I'm sorry I'm coming in. Okay, I apologize, but you've said that you want to know 5 names of masjids that have taken down the volume levels of their loudspeaker. Aren't we coming out of Navratra as well? No, I want to ask you. We're coming out of Navratra. You are telling me there were no jagrans. Do you also want to know the name of the temples that had night-long jagrans?
Can I now please speak for myself? I don't need you to paraphrase me. I am saying, please take action against all Navratra Jagrans. Please take action against Hanuman Chalisa like you did in the case of the MNS worker and Navneet Rana. But since the Shiv Sena government swears by the fact that it is the poster boy of Hindutva, not just secularism as preached by Congress, I just want to know an issue they have been raising for time immemorial, that is the illegal loudspeaker on masjids, which continue to play even today because the 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. rule is not applied in Maharashtra. I want to ask our honorable spokesperson and friend from Shiv Sena, can you give me 5 examples where similar action was taken by the Maharashtra police? The names of the 5 masjids where you went and you booked them for the illegal use of loudspeaker, so that I am convinced that unlike the Nashik police, which came out with a very discriminatory order, which was that in 100 meters of an azan, no Hanuman Chalisa can be played. Within 15 minutes of an azan, no Hanuman Chalisa can be played. It was all applied on the Hanuman Chalisa. It wasn't applied on the azan. So I am asking him, can you please give me specifically, point number 1, 5 masjids where you took action against this illegal loudspeaker use, because you said 72% cases have come down. Point number 2, he just said that we don't need to learn Hindutva from BJP. Please don't learn it from us, sir. But sir, Sanjay Raut had said that in 17 minutes we brought down the Babri structure. So do you stand by that statement, and does the Congress consider that statement to be secular? These are 2 specific questions, Preeti, and I expect them to be answered specifically.
All right, okay, but you know, there's something that you said, and it's a question that I'd ask you as well as I bring in Supriya Srinate in this conversation, Shehzad, and that was that the Shiv Sena...
No, I'm saying, listen,
let me,
Preeti, they're already acting on Navratri.
Okay, I just want to...
Let me just answer this.
You said...
Don't let them escape from this.
I'll ask them those questions.
Don't let them escape from this.
Shehzad, I will ask them that question. There is something... 1 second, there is something very... You've said something, you have made those 2 questions... You've asked 2 questions, I'll take them forward. But there is something which is a little disturbing that you said in the end, that if Shiv Sena is a true poster child of Hindutva, then it needs to give you name of 5 masjids who have taken down the music. Does Hindutva mean being anti-masjid or anti-Muslims or communal?
Preeti, I think I'm not able to communicate to you. I am saying, please, no, 1 second. Sir, I am saying, please let me articulate this properly. There should not be lack of communication. 1 second, it will take 10 seconds. Preeti, I am happy for them to act on every mandir which is violating the rule. I am just asking the Shiv Sena, which I have the right to do, so I'm a Maharashtrian myself. Have they taken similar action on at least 5 masjids?
I'm asking that question forward, sir.
Like Yogi Adityanath has taken action on both.
I will take that. I'm moderating this debate.
I will take action on both. I
will take that question forward. But once again, as I bring in Supriya,
it's not anti-Muslim. I'm asking them, is the
your statement said, sir, you can go back to what you said and you'd hear that if the Shiv Sena is the true, they call themselves the poster childs or the true bearers of Hindutva, can't they give me 5 names of masjids where the noise levels have been taken down? It's for your own interpretation. I want to bring in Supriya Srinath.
That's not what I'm saying.
Sir, go back and say, listen to what you're saying. But I will take your questions forward.
You have completely misrepresented what I said.
Sir, I'm not misrepresenting anyone. I asked you a question. I asked you that question to clarify. Then you asked the same question to the BJP again.
I am not saying because they are... I have said, have they applied the law equally? And because they said they are the poster child of Hindutva, do they stand by Sanjay Raut's statement, which the Congress party accepts as secular, yes or no? Those are 2 different points. So connecting the 2, you can do that. I can go back, you can ask a producer to play it.
Okay, no, I'm not going to get into what I'm going to ask my producer. Okay, sir, may I, with your permission, move on and include our other panelists in this debate? Supriya Srinath.
I know what I asked. Please don't paraphrase me. Please have them answer my questions.
Sir, I'm moderating this debate. Fortunately, unfortunately, I have to put those questions forward. But
I understand, but you don't need to paraphrase me, Preeti. I'm not
nobody's paraphrasing you. This is what you said. I'm the moderator. I'm the journalist. Sir, I am a journalist.
You are paraphrasing me.
Sir, you want to now derail this? You want to derail this debate?
Question 1, 5 masjids on which you acted.
Can I get Supriya Srinath? Can I get Supriya Srinath? Supriya Srinath, I'll come to you, sir. Mr. Hegde, give me a minute. Let me include the other 2 panelists and I'll come to each of you again. Supriya Srinath, the question is, what is so wrong in taking away the loudspeakers, be it any religion? Do you really want to hear an azan if you do not believe in that religion? Do you really want to hear a jagrata through the course of the night? There's nothing wrong in it. We've had observations for many years. Why not implement them now, even if it's coming late?
You know what amuses me? What amuses me is the fact that the issue is not loudspeaker or bulldozer or hijab or language or Hindi imperialism, that today even the BJP is in a soup for in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The issue is very different, and I agree with my Shiv Sena co-panelist when he says the issue is prices, the issue is joblessness, and because you don't want to talk about those issues, you don't want to walk in those landmines, let's keep people engaged here. I will say a very simple thing. हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ना सनातन हिंदू धर्म में इसकी एक प्रक्रिया होती है. ये सड़क छाप काम नहीं कि आप सड़क पे बैठ के चिल्लाने लगे हनुमान चालीसा. There is a way to do it. You do not change your religion because you want to teach somebody else a lesson. There is a way Hindu religion preaches. There is a way mantras are chanted. There is a way Shanti Path is recited at the end of it, and that marks the end of the Hindu puja. You cannot storm into somebody's house and say, I am going to show you what Hindu puja is. No, you're actually doing a great disservice to the religion जिसके आप स्वयंभू ठेकेदार बन गए. सबसे पहली बात. दूसरी बात, I think, it is so much about law and order. Why is it that a lot of the BJP ruled states today have become the pot boilers or the most fertile grounds for polarization? Look at what's happening to a state as evolved as Karnataka, the world's back office, the IT front bearer of India. Look at what's happening in Karnataka. Look at what was happening in UP just before elections. Today, UP, everything is fine. And actually, Amit Shah ji and the others should learn a lesson from Mr. Yogi. He said all that he had to say to divide, divisiveness and everything before the elections. After the elections, he realized you need stability, you need peace, and he's obviously eyeing the top job, and which is why he's now making the right noises. Sach to seekhiye, unse agar seekhna hai to. I also have one more thing to say. This is not Hindu or Muslim, Preeti. This is a class war. This is, you can bulldoze the house of the poor, but you dare not bulldoze the house of the rich. 17% of India lives in slums. And in the cities, 11% houses are vacant because they are owned by the rich. It's an investment for them. They will never be bulldozed. So the reality is it is a class war. And the BJP is trying to distract you from issues that
but no, but the fact is, Ms. Srinath, The reasons can be whatsoever. The debate could be communal politically, but the fact is there is a high level of noise pollution in this country, and if there have been guidelines in the past which concern loudspeakers, and even if it is coming 8 years too late in their government, if you are deciding to act on it, and if it is for both mosques and temples and other religious institutions, what is wrong?
But that's exactly what Dilip Parsley Patil Saab has said. He's the Home Minister of Maharashtra, and he has said the centre should form uniform laws for the country. Let the states take a cue from what the centre decides for them. That the centre will not do. The centre is going to shy away from that. So you cannot have, whatever, kadwa thuk aur meetha gap to nahi chalega na. Jahan par aapko apni responsibility karni hai, laws banane, wahan par aap banayenge nahi. This cannot go on.
Okay, Mrinalini Deshmukh, senior advocate, is also with us.
I want to repeat is, in the name of protecting my religion, you are actually maligning it, and I will not allow you to do that.
Ms. Deshmukh, all right. Ms. Deshmukh, I want to bring you in, and I'm sorry, sometimes you get, we can get caught in the political cacophony of it all. I just want you to elucidate for our viewers, what is the legal position on loudspeakers in this country?
So at the outset, let me be very clear that I am not representing any political ideology or any political party. I'm going to be speaking here purely from my experience as a citizen of this country, and of course, the fact that I'm a lawyer. The important part of it is Article 25 of the Constitution gives you the fundamental right to practice and profess your religion. Now, when the right is given to you, it does not mean that that right is in such a manner that it is unhindered and you can do it in any manner that you feel appropriate. At the same time, there has to be public tranquility, public peace, etc. that has to be maintained. In fact, the Honorable High Court of Mumbai, I think sometime in August 2016, has said that the use of loudspeakers is not a fundamental right, and that no religion or sect could claim that the right to use the loudspeaker or any kind of a public address is in consonance with the rights conferred on 25. I really do not understand what this whole is going about for the last 15 days. I'm sorry, as a citizen, I feel it's a circus that the political parties are playing, and I think they're just making, I don't know, I don't have to say anything more about it. The fact is, use of loudspeakers, use of any public address systems cannot be at the cost of causing disruption to the peace, tranquility, and the normal life of the normal citizens like you and me are concerned. Now today, whether you're going to chant Hanuman Chalisa or you're going to chant Azan, I'm not here for any particular religion. Religion is a private thing. It has to be done within your private space. And I may be a devout Hindu, but my religion teaches me to be tolerant and accepting all other religions. Lastly, I would just like to say one more thing. I'll tell you, during those days, pre-independence days, when there was this concept of Sarvajanik Ganpati, which I think Krishnaji will be able to sort of appreciate coming from Maharashtra.
Right.
In these kind of situations, Bal Gangadhar Tilak had raised a platform, and this was that why should we have individual Ganpatis in every house? Why not have it at a public place? Where they called it in Marathi as Sarvajanik. And the reason for having this was not to propagate and say Ganpati Stotra or something on the loudspeaker. The reason was to use this as a platform to canvass social views, to canvass political views, because we were being ruled by the British at that point of them, to canvass and bring about that passion for the country and to sort of get against the British rule. So these are the reasons for which such public sort of addresses are used on a religious background. But today we've made a mockery of that. Today we are using it just to have a political point against each other. We are using religion against each other. We are dividing ourselves instead of what our forefathers did was to unite us, to fight for a common cause. And as there are several other issues that are very, very sort of glaring at us today,
all right,
kind of things.
Ms. Deshmukh, appreciate you joining us, ma'am, and giving us that legal, purview of that. Appreciate that. Because, Mr. Poonawalla, you are correct. It is a 2:1. After Ms. Srinath, I'm going to come to you. You had a list of questions that you wanted to ask Mr. Hegde. Would you like to repeat them again? Because I'll go to Mr. Hegde then, or would you want to make another point?
No, I want to make a few submissions. And by the way, Mrinalini, I am from Pune, so Lokmanya Tilak is from my city. But having said that, let me tell you the hypocrisy here. Look, the center has to make laws for now the state to implement something that has already been decided. This is what Supriya ji is saying. Madam, the laws and the rules already exist. You are always against the center interfering and saying that federal structure pe khatra aa gaya. Today when it is clear cut, Mumbai High Court has said it, Supreme Court has said it. Today you are saying we'll wait for a Supreme Court law. How hypocritical is that? Point number 2. She is saying everything becomes Hindu-Musliman. She remembers Karnataka. She remembers other states. Madam, when the hijab verdict came out in Karnataka, it was your leaders who went to Supreme Court and still tried to make an issue out of it. In Rajasthan, you divided electricity in the name of Hindu-Muslim, and look what is happening in Karoli, but that is not the debate tonight. The larger debate that I want to address is 3 or 4 points. Supriya said that religion is a private matter. ये और हनुमान चालीसा का एक तरीका होता है. It's not सड़क छाप कि कहीं पे भी बैठ के हनुमान चालीसा शुरू कर दो. I completely agree with you. नमाज भी सार्वजनिक रस्तों पर नहीं पढ़ते हैं, परंतु when we say that don't have namaz or any Maha-Aarti on the roads, you come in defense only of one, and that is the problem. And therefore my question, Preeti, and Preeti, please let me articulate my question with all due respect, because I'm very fond of your anchoring and your objectivity. Sir, my question is not that because they are a Hindutva party, what action you've taken on mosques. Yeah. No, Preeti, I have a lot of regard for you.
Well, sir, go ahead.
Having said that, please let me articulate. Yes. Maybe I didn't communicate it right. See, forget the Shiv Sena being a Hindutva party. It's a party that governs the state of Maharashtra. It has to take action fairly on both. It acted on Hanuman Chalisa on Navratra. Very good. Aapka sadhuwad. But please tell me, sir, you just said 72% kam kara hai. Tell me the names of 5 masjids where even today the illegal loudspeakers are going on at 5 a.m. in the morning, where you have taken similar action. You've not put sedition on them, I understand. But at least tell me 5 names of masjids. Aapne to pura data bataya na 72% ka. I am challenging you to tell me the names of 5 masjids in Maharashtra. You won't be able to tell me, because just like you in Nashik took out a discriminatory order that put regulations on Hanuman Chalisa, not on Azan. That's not the role of the state.
You've got to give him that time to answer. But Shahzad, I'll also come back and ask you one question, and maybe you can figure out on that. Does a true blue Hindutva Vadi also will call out, because there's going to be Ganpati in 3 months now, and there are going to be loudspeakers there. Will it? Will the true blue Hindutva Vadi also hold the same yardstick for a Ganpati procession that he does for a namaz or azan? But having said that, Mr. Hegde, thank you for holding your peace, sir. Go ahead. You have these set number of questions that Mr. Poonawalla has posed for you, and you wanted to make a point.
No, my honorable friend Shahzad has given me so many questions, and I would like to answer them one by one. First, he said that whether Shiv Sena is the poster boy of Hindutva. Yes, we are. He asked me about Sanjay Raut, and Sanjay Raut, in his statement, Sanjay Raut ji said that during the issue of the Babri, Bala Sahib himself had said that we are proud of our Sainiks, and Sanjay Raut ji said that the BJP leaders had gone into hiding. These are statements on record, which I am quoting here. The third thing he asked me was whether any masjid or madrasas across the state. I can give 5 names. I will tell you that 13 madrasas and mohalla committees and masjid committees of my own constituencies have informed me that they are going to lower the volume. Third thing he said about Navneet Rana and Ravi Rana.
No.
I will also tell you.
Sir, let him finish. I'll come to you for a rebuttal. Let him finish.
24 hours. I am asking for action.
Please let him finish.
Supriya ji said, like Supriya ji said that you cannot, recite a Hanuman Chalisa anywhere. So if Ravi Rana or Navneet Rana would recite a Hanuman Chalisa in a temple or in their house or any religious place, it was okay. But to emphasize that we want to come out to the Chief Minister's house and recite it there outside his personal house, can Ravi Rana or Navneet Rana go to the Prime Minister's house or go to the President's house at the Rashtrapati Bhavan and recite the Hanuman Chalisa out there on the road? The SPG will pick them up and put them where they belong. And that is what exactly has happened. You cannot spoil the law and order situation in the country. You cannot spoil the law and order situation in Maharashtra. That was exactly what they were trying to do. They tried to bring in 500 people from Amravati to Mumbai to create clashes, and
Sir,
that's why they have.
But Mr. Hegde, no matter what they try to do,
outside the Prime Minister's house,
no matter what they try to do, there is a
house,
question that still remains that is never answered. Did they invite sedition?
And if they want,
whatever they did, sir, did they invite sedition? Did they invite sedition? You and I both know the answer better to that.
They should have taken the permission of the Honorable Chief Minister.
Yes. Okay. 1 second. May I? Sir, may I go to Supriya Srinit? I'll come back to you. And I hope you are understanding. I'm coming back to you twice over, then I'm going to them. But yes, Supriya Srinit, you wanted to make a point. Quickly come in, and then I'll cut across to Mr. Poonawalla.
Inadvertently, he spoke about electricity, and I happen to be in Uttar Pradesh, my constituency of Maharashtra. There has been no electricity for the last 3 days. And I hope our Chief Minister is listening into this debate and he does something about electricity. And I hope the Prime Minister, instead of deflecting blame here and there, procures enough coal so that power plants in this country, and about 150 of them who are facing critical shortage of coal, actually produce electricity, which is crucial. In a weather like this, it is crucial for small and medium businesses. It's crucial for jobs. But guess what? That's not what he's going to do. The BJP is going to talk about azan and namaz and halal and hijab and now language. So the reality is this is all nothing but a ploy to distract you away from issues that really matter. The
weapons of distraction. Okay. The loudspeaker is the latest weapon of distraction. Shehzad Poonawalla, closing comments, and I'm going to move on to the power debate, which Supriya just brought up there. That's our next story. But Shehzad Poonawalla, closing comments.
Preeti, hijab order was passed by Karnataka High Court. Why did the Congress people, if they are so interested in Mehengai and unemployment debate, go to the Supreme Court against it? Point number 2, please tell me that by chanting of slogans on the loudspeaker, unemployment, Mehengai, etc. is going to be solved. Then please do it. Why should then the Mehengai in Maharashtra should be solved by chanting of azan 5 times on the loudspeaker? But Preeti, Preeti, I did not interrupt anybody. Preeti, I asked a very specific question throughout.
Supriya Srinit, can we just get Shehzad Poonawalla?
Preeti.
Sir, with due respect, can I just get Mr. Poonawalla? Go ahead.
I don't think this is the manner of debate.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Preeti, I have asked my question. Yeah. Since the start of the debate to the end of it, I asked that you have taken action on Navratra, you have taken action on Hanuman Chalisa. Please name 5 masjids where you've gone ahead and taken action. The spokesperson of the Shiv Sena said, "Hum unse baat kar rahe hain." वो उन्होंने कहा है, they will lower it. This was not the approach for the Hanuman Chalisa played by the MNS worker. They picked him up and put him in jail, and they said that this is spreading communal disharmony, and they put Navneet Rana in jail on sedition. Sedition, by the way, the Congress party said in its manifesto it wants to do away with. But having said that, last statement, Preeti, this is the statement of Sanjay Raut. We demolished Babri Masjid in 17 minutes. Why is Modi government taking so much time on Ram Temple? Is Supriya Srinit proud of this statement? Is Mr. Shiv Sena still standing with this statement? Is Supriya Srinit saying that this statement is secular? Here is the statement published in Economic Times.
All right, okay. I'm going to not get into that.
Specific answer, DJ, please. I request you.
No, I need to close this debate, and I'm sorry. I appreciate all of you for joining us. Once again, we do not have more time. But thank you, Ms. Srinit. Thank you, Mr. Hegde, Ms. Deshmukh, and Shehzad Poonawalla. It's inconclusive, yes, but mind you, these are debates that are going to continue in times to come. The opposition calls all of this loudspeaker, namaz, hijab, weapons of mass distraction. The BJP pretty much says that, this is what we are here for, and they're towing the line in a state like Uttar Pradesh. 21,000 loudspeakers have been removed. We leave it to the better judgment of our viewers to decide.